A land filler production. You like Hallmark movies, motherfuckers? Yeah. Fucking Hallmark. Fucking heartwarming shit. Fucking cozy shit. Hell yeah, In no way affiliated with Hallmark. Fucking cozy, fucking hot chocolate, no, fucking mysteries. Yeah, motherfucker. Hello, Hallmark Tipline. Do you have a crimes report?
Ho, the things that you've lied about, even pertaining to your mom, you don't want them out.
Oh my god. Who is this?
Now, since you think it's funny, just speak.
Tipline Mysteries.
Tipline Mysteries. Dial 1 for murder.
I am so excited for this little moment here to talk about this. I'm so excited. Okay, so we like Hallmark Mysteries. We're fans of Hallmark Mysteries in this house.
We
correct?
fucking love them.
Yeah, I would say that it's a 70-30 split, if you're good at math, of what we watch on Hallmark between mysteries and romances, right?
Yeah. We definitely partake of a lot of the mystery genre. We do kind of like true crime stuff. However, a lot of the other true crime kind of products out there in the world, they're a little dark and sad and like.
Oh my god!
It's based in reality, and these are real people. Things are happening too, and it just gets to be a little too dark and terrible in the world.
These kind of go off of the vibe of like Gumshoe Detective, and so there's more of an innocence in it. I will say this one strikes more of a real tone, but the characters are so fun that it evens it out. We say this to say, Hallmark makes great mysteries, and this one is no exception. In fact, I would actually go as far to say, I think the top tier, the creme de la creme, the very best that Hallmark has to offer for mysteries is the Mystery 101 series. Can we agree?
Definitely.
But this, if they do more of these, this could rival.
I hope they do.
Oh gosh, I really hope they do. This one came out pretty recently. There's been no follow-up movie yet, so when I see it come up, I will watch it. But this one, oh honey.
So let's get a little synopsis here. A little synopsis. So a cryptic call about a planned jewelry heist draws a Detroit Free Press Tipline operator, Mandy Moore, into a dangerous homicide case alongside newly promoted detective. I mean, the synopsis is kind of terrible. It just says detective.
It's not enticing.
It doesn't really give.
Honestly,
this is the worst synopsis I've ever read.
What would you do? What would you have done?
What would you
have done? If you were there, what would you have done?
Something better.
Here's what I would do. I would have it be, just off the top of my head, intrepid tip-line operator receives a call that a jewelry heist is to take place.
What do you got, a fucking thesaurus or?
She then teams up with newly appointed detective,
Eric Beeks.
Eric Beets, honey.
Oh, she's got the beats.
Teams up with Eric Beets to like check that shit out.
I love the smell of these.
I like Mandy Moore, our lead, but we'll get into that in a moment.
I do not need a reason to be angry with God.
Okay, so we open with a shot of Cleveland, Ohio at what appears to be a shopping mall. Our diligent security guard is playing with the crane machine. We see the security guard. He's walking around. He just won his teddy bear. And he comes across something that looks sketchy at the jewelry store. So he kind of peers inside and he's looking around. And before he can really get anywhere, bam! Shot in the neck with a dart. Meow, 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 meow.
That's Mandy Moore's sister, Mandy Moore.
Meow meow more. What do you think of this plucky little intro here?
It's very cute, It's kind of
It's murder board.
yeah, it's crime board.
There's like pictures that are
There's
pertinent.
string.
There's pictures that are pertinent to things throughout the movie that we don't know about yet because we haven't watched it. I'm not particularly. I don't know. I think that this movie was a little too classy for that hokey pokey like iMovie edit.
Yeah, I mean, alternatively, it was like 3 seconds of footage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So why put it in?
yeah, I don't even know why they bothered to put it in. Even cutting back further, the thumbnail or like the little like thing on Amazon or wherever you're watching this is so cool looking. Like
looks
it's all like
so
seedy
serious.
and like you got like the blue and red. It kind of reminds me of remember that one scene in Batman, the new one with
Yes.
yeah,
Like,
that we
any
love.
scene you're talking about, I know exactly what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, you remember how it's
Batman,
all
Robert Pattinson, Zoe
yeah.
Kravitz.
Oh god, so good.
It's like a neo-noir thing. You kind of get a little bit of that in this
Yeah,
flyer.
right?
I want to call it a flyer because I'm used to drag shows being like, 2-for-1 drinks tonight at the Hole. Come get holes at the Hole. Yeah, so the poster looks fierce. The movie's fierce. Intro's kind of hokey. Oh well. We see our doll of life, Mandy Moore, and she's answering phones at the concierge desk of the RK hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually give it a name, but
I think
you
it's
know
like
what?
a
When
royal
she answers,
something.
I bet you she says it because she's a great employee.
Yeah, give it to us. We're also now in Detroit, Michigan.
That's where this all is set. 3 weeks after this little
3 weeks
jewelry
after
heist.
Ohio.
Regency Klingly.
What
was
the
it? Region Kingsley. So she's at the concierge desk, and she gets a call from somebody who's going to be checking in later that day. His name's Mr. Wilcox. He stayed there several times before, and he wants room 1208 because he left the bag in there.
Yeah, it's also because like on the internet, everybody said that this is the room that has the best view of the city, and she's like, well, like 1209, which is literally right next to it, has the exact same view, and he's like, no. I don't hear that. I don't see that. The internet told me that this one is the best, and so that's the one that I want. And she says, you know what? I'm a problem solver. I'm going to make it happen.
So she removes the plaque that's on the door that says 1208, and she removes the plaque on the door that says 1209, and she switches them with each other.
Give me some. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an icon.
Yeah.
She's a legend, and she is the moment.
Yeah, fucking legend shit. Fucking Mandy Moore, yeah.
We're not even 1 minute into this movie, and we're getting problem solving. We're getting she's a yes, let's figure it out person, not a no, it's it's not my job or it can't be done. She is resourceful. She is a diligent employee, and she wants to
She's a legend, she's an icon, and
Yeah.
she is the moment.
she is the moment.
Now come on now. Next we cut to the detective of the story whose name was Darren Beeggs.
No, none of that is right. Okay.
Why don't you give it to us?
We now cut into the police station here. Looks like a beat cop going in to see the chief of police, and she sits him down. She asks him for his badge, and homeboy is shocked. He's like, "Oh, like, but that arrest last night was by the book," which kind of does raise a little bit of a red flag for me. Like, what did you do to him, or whoever you arrested? And she's like, "No, it's about what happened 2 weeks ago." Then she slides over his detective badge, so he's now the newest detective. He passed his detective's exam with flying colors, and he's going to be replacing a newly retiring detective.
Yeah, so she gives him a little fake out for a moment and scares him. But it's great news. He's being promoted. And as we see in the next scene, it's greatly deserved. Because Maddie Moore, not Mandy Moore, I keep wanting to call her Mandy Moore. She works for the Detroit Free Press Tipline. So if you know that, or you see like an unattended suitcase, or you see
There's a lost cat. You overheard something about a robbery, drugs, whatever it may be. You can call it in. All right, so we're cutting here into the interior of the Detroit Free Press. It's very newsy. It's very bright, shiny. Everything's new. There's TVs, and then we cut to the Detroit Free Press tip line area, which is how do we say it? It's a little yeah,
a little to be desired.
it's a little moth eaten. It's a little rat infested looking. This is obviously kind of like where they put the interns, where they put people that are
This wall literally looks like a piece. It looks like it's the building underneath and like rock, and it's uneven. Like, what is this entrance to this building? Look at the racks around them. I bet you these files have nothing to do with them.
No, this is a storage area.
This is a storage area,
Yeah.
and these people are volunteering. She
Yeah.
doesn't get paid for this, right?
I don't believe so. No, it seems like it's kind of a volunteer gig that she does does out of genuine interest here.
So we get more endearing personality traits from Mandy Moore in the form of she walks into the dank, dirty office, and her coworker's there, and she's getting off the phone, and apparently somebody who's like, they're insinuating maybe mental illness is like talking about aliens, but Mandy Moore is so sweet and so genuine that she is like, okay, well, who do we call for that? And she looks up, okay, everything to do with UFO sightings, you report to the National Security Office. And then immediately after, she gets a phone call, and it's a man who sounds very, very upset on the other end, and is saying that his neighbors stole his cat last night. She takes him seriously. She sits up. She's got her little beret on. Her styling in this is very cute, and we'll get to that in a moment. But she sits up straight, and she's like, all right, tell me about this. When did this happen? And so then we cut out of that scene, insinuating that maybe the conversation went on for a while. But I just really like her personality already, that she's so on top of stuff.
You kind of get the idea that Maddie is one of the more one of the more competent people at every task she does, and she's genuinely interested in making people feel heard. And even if they're calling in, like this guy's calling in about a cat or his neighbor stealing cats, or maybe he stole his cat, she didn't just brush it off and say, I don't know, call animal control or whatever. She wrote down the information. She's asking follow-up questions. She's on it. Detective Grazier here is the gentleman that our new detective officer Beeks, now Detective Beeks, is replacing. And this guy is your quintessential. He is the embodiment of I don't get paid enough for this. People need to figure out how to help themselves. That
No
kind of
empathy,
thing.
in the wrong job, asked. Like, really great, honestly, really great representation of a lot of cops who don't take their work seriously.
Yeah, it's this very apathetic, things all, if it's important enough, it'll get figured out. If it's not, then whatever, it'll figure
Right.
itself out. And
Right, and like, I
be
bet
your own advocate.
this movie takes the approach of give a fuck, try harder, help people. Like, it kind of has this energy of optimism and like this empathy that isn't just thoughts and prayers.
Well, yeah, it's do
it's
more, it's be better.
or
it's-
just do
yeah.
what's asked of you, even like just rise to the occasion of which you've put yourself into, and like they really drive that home. And
For you to go through the tests and then the studying and the participating and all
so
of
many
this.
years that now you're going to retire and collect pension, and your whole thing is just fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off to like she places a call to
She's
him.
doing all the work for him.
Yeah, she's
and he's
calling,
not even willing to.
So every time she gets a tip, it's insinuated based off of how bereft he is from getting these helpful tips from this woman. He's like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, okay, well, how about I follow up about the thing that I gave you last week with the person who was stealing purses at the mall? And he's like, oh yeah, all that.
Yeah, we're right on it, and it's just in a pile of papers that are just sitting there on his desk.
Yeah, he's like
that
eating like
that
food
he's
falling
spilling
out of his
fucking
mouth. Yeah,
he's spilling fucking nachos all over it. He's a useless piece of shit.
yeah, they just paint out like a horrendous picture of him.
And so we're happy that this new detective here is coming in to replace this sorry example.
They are. There's a glimmer of hope now in that he's going to be taking over that position, and he cares more. And this next scene we're getting is kind of more of that, and in the form of what's this guy's name? In the form of Toby. Toby.
Did he pick him up for hooking?
College and the house.
Toby at the point. So we get Beeks here, Detective Beeks, and he was kind of following up with a young man that he had an interaction with, Toby, riding around in a stolen car with his friends. He didn't know the car was stolen, kind of thing, but at the same time, if you're all piled into a car full of felons in a stolen car, it doesn't look good.
Right. And indicated by the promotion, he's clearly on top of it, but we get the vibe now that he actually cares about people through Toby, because he's showing up now at what looks like a fucking park or something.
Yeah, a little like kind of
hooligan shit. We've
Yeah.
all done it. And he like comes up and they're just like like doing cool kid shit. They're like wearing beanies and like smoking cigarettes and just like
The homo stuff.
The homo stuff.
And so he is checking in on Toby to make sure he's staying out of trouble, because he's not going to just arrest someone and throw them out into the system and let them get caught up. He wants to check in on him and make sure that he's not fucking up more.
But he finds out that Toby's, playing it straight now. He's got a place to live. He's living with his girlfriend who's attending college and has a house and a job and got him a job, and so it's things are kind of looking up, and he's happy for him. But while he's having this interaction, a call comes through on the police scanner of a breaking and entering, and the suspect is on foot near the area that he's at, and he sees the guy, takes off after him, and bags the collar. He arrests the guy, and meanwhile, our female lead, Maddie, is listening on the police scanner, and she is stoked to hear that her favorite, Officer 219, has made another arrest and has done another bang up job.
Yeah, she has this police scanner app on her phone, and she likes to listen to it and see if there's tips that she has that she could call and correspond with something. But mostly, it seems like she just really loves hearing about the police work. She likes to hear about this kind of stuff. She's really, really wrapped up in this world. And so she, it's funny because the next scene she's working at the hotel, she's got a headphone in, and I feel like it's insinuated that like she's listening to it more, but she hears Beeks making these arrests often, and like he's the one who gets talked about the most because he's doing the most work.
Yeah, he's out there doing the job.
But not by name. We hear 219. We only get here 219. What was it?
219.
219.
Yeah, so we then cut back to the RK hotel here, and we see Maddie interacting with some guests, and she's apologizing for there's construction going on next to their room, and the people are they're lovely. They're going, oh, it's no big deal, we understand. And Maddie offers, well, can we at least get you a complimentary breakfast kind of thing and all that. And they're blown away with the customer service that she's providing, and they're very happy. And it turns out they're actually opening up a new store, a jewelry store here in the area, and they have to run out the door. And that's the fact that they're putting in a lot of detail into that might come up again in the future.
Jewelry store. That almost that almost seems a little bit.
It's best not to investigate at all.
Baby mama.
So we get
Baby.
we get the entire this man who has been a detective, or at least on the police force long enough to have earned a pension. We get the
Here
the
at his retirement party, he chooses to seize the moment to pass the torch in the most bleak, depressing way possible.
which is sometimes the best thing to do in the job as a police detective is to do nothing and just wait it out.
Yeah, he says this to Officer Beets.
It's caca. It's where do we yeah.
Oh,
Beak.
Okay, Officer Beeks.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll use that one for him because it's a little less intrusive.
The bird is the word. Yeah.
Yeah, come for Hallmark. Stay for the sound effects.
Awesome!
Detective Grazer is going to go buy himself a mop wig and get down.
Yeah, Detective Grazer definitely gives tucked between the legs.
Crossy.
This is a bedroom Crossy. This isn't your Crossy who is like out turning tricks at night. This is your Crossy who is like ordering champagne in the hotel room and like posting ads but bails on everybody who wants to come through. Because it's like blurry face pictures. I bet the knees look crazy in a skirt.
Yeah,
I bet the knees are knobbing.
Honestly, I think Grazier, the reason that he's retiring is because he's actually BTK.
Every crime scene he didn't investigate, he collected hair from and he's woven a wig.
Tipline owners in front of welcome, Mrs. Mary.
What?
Which jewelry store?
Ho, the things that you've lied about, even pertaining to your mom. You don't want them out.
How do you know about this?
Now, since you think it's funny,
Okay, so we over back at the tip line, we get Maddie receiving an actual, a useful tip as she often does.
Phone rings.
The phone is ringing. There's some voice muffling going on. It's one of those yeah.
Female, male, lolly boy, monster boy.
Yeah, it's yeah. So we get one of those calls, and our jewelry store is going to be robbed tonight. And of course, Maddie, being the diligent person that she is asking follow-up questions. Where, do you, how do you know this? Do you know who? All of these questions. But of course, the person's just like, you got to stop it, and hangs up. And
Which is a weird way to.
It's a weird way to report a crime because it's kind of just like, hey, somewhere in the world the crime is happening. Please stop it. Oh, he's back at the evidence locker collecting pantyhose. After we get the tip, Maddie, tries to call the police station, but yeah, breaking news alert, no one gives a fuck at the police station. So, and this is honestly very, very indicative of real life.
It paints a depressing picture, and this is kind of like it's such a beautiful painting of life, and we're seeing, because in most Hallmark movies, we start the movie also like kind of in a weird spot, but we go through it and we end up in like a very, very happy paradise, and oftentimes you're moving and leaving somewhere. I like that a lot of these mystery movies, they're about people who are doing their best to make where they already are nice. They're watering their own lawn.
Definitely. And and one of the main the main gardener of this city is Miss Maddie.
Yeah, like
Miss Mandy Moore.
She works at a hotel all fucking day, and then she goes and she's a tip line.
Well, and then even more so than that, when they're not picking up at the police station, she gets up off her ass and she goes down to the police station to file the report in person.
And she seizes the moment too. She runs straight out.
She carps the diem. And so when she gets there, she goes and we have our first meeting between her and Detective Beeks. During this interaction, Detective Beeks he pulls out the pad and paper and says, "All right, give me the details." And Miss Maddie provides the details of a jewelry store is going to be robbed somewhere in the city.
Do something.
He's a little bereft on this because it's like there's 100 jewelry stores in the city. Where do we start? And her response is, I don't know, let's just stake out all of them or send an officer to every single one of them. And well, no, we can't do that. We don't have enough resources. Okay, well, let's start calling them. We'll start off with the ones that are open, and then we'll look up the phone numbers of the ones that are closed and call them at home. She's there to be proactive as opposed to going, oh, I don't know, you guys figure it out. She's trying to provide answers. The answers might not always be feasible, but she's willing to put in the work. She's willing to go on the ride.
She's like, fuck, okay, so I came down here for nothing, so let me go and try to deal with this myself. But as she's walking out, there is a poster for the Catman. It says, Simba, $5,000 reward, please bring him home, so forth, very sad. And she sees that and she goes, okay, so they're obviously not doing anything about this either. Fuck, more on my plate.
Yeah, and she remembers from the call, this is the same cat from the call from the tip line.
Yeah, and
You
she's
know?
not going to just be, like, apathetic and be like, well, this is life. Nobody cares about anything, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm the only one, and
Well, and
lone
she's like,
warrior.
maybe I don't have the tools to deal with stopping a robbery somewhere in this city, but I can help out with this cat.
Yeah, so
So
she's taking that seriously. That is going on in the background. Gosh, it makes me so sad. We have a kitty cat that we love very, very much. And it's so, the idea, oh my gosh, the idea. It's
You
very
know.
sad. Someone steals your cat and no one cares.
yeah, and no one's willing to help or do shit to help.
What a blessing it would be to have a Maddie in the world that you just so happen to be able to be blessed enough to come across. And she's so lovely, and she's tuned in and she cares. She would be a great detective.
Oh,
Shit.
She bucked caps. She bucked caps.
We cut to the jewelry store. There is a very cute old man with a newsy hat and white hair, and he's walking into his jewelry store. He opens the door, and the alarm's going off. And he comes in, shuts the door, walks over to the alarm, turns it off, and he turns around. There's this black figure standing. And they pull out a gun and shoot it at him.
Yeah, he gets trank darted.
Yeah, well, we don't know that for sure yet, but the first one was with a trank dart, so there's a good chance this one's also with a trank dart. But let's see how yeah.
Oh my god, he did! I say you, he did!
Yeah, so at the jewelry store we have the trank dart sticking out of the older gentleman's neck.
Yeah, and he's dead.
He had done died.
And the other person did not die with the other trank dart. This man is dead.
Man is dead. Now Detective Beeks here is on the scene. Detective Beeks here he's uncovering
Let's give it a music bed. So the ex-wife or the wife ex-wife is at
soon to be ex-wife.
Soon to be ex-wife is at the jewelry store on the scene, responding to the death of her husband.
Detective Beeks is here. He's... What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I just thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, Detective Beeks is, going through, doing his due diligence, trying to figure out, okay, so we have an ex-wife here. Is she a suspect? Where was she? Can we confirm these things?
And she alleges to have been in Atlanta.
Yeah, attending a drag conference.
Judging by the fact that she has so much foundation in her bangs, like there's so much foundation in this wig. Do you see all of like the like brown?
it's a different color.
She's got a gorgeous gray hair color. She's actually very beautiful. She has a gorgeous gray hair color. But this makeup artist, not to break the fourth wall, the makeup artist did not do her right. He did not do her right.
Yeah, you can see where it's been kind of doing the windshield wiper on her foundation.
Yeah, like all across her forehead, which like I have no idea why they would be putting her in that much foundation to begin with. It's like crazy in this daylight, in this overcast light. Like, I don't know. Shout out to this woman. The makeup artist is transphobic, and you need to watch out for him or her or them.
Anything else stolen? Everything in the safe is missing. He only took the best jewels. I have to take care of something.
Oh, honey, that's my kind of thief, honey. Oh, only take the best jewels, baby. Only the best for me. Oh.
Oh, he's putting Miss Maddie in handcuffs because she's been, she's acting the fool. She's crossing the police line and taking pictures.
Yeah, like she won't take no for an answer. Which, to her defense, he blew her off last night, and she was putting in effort because when we see her be woken up by the news alerts, she's sitting at her desk at her house, and she has a list in front of her of all the jewelry stores, and she's crossed off a bunch of them, indicating that she fell asleep.
Well, she didn't even
Calling
make it
jewelry
home.
stores.
She didn't even make it home. She was at the Tipline office.
Was it the Tipline?
Yeah, it was all night and all day, and she woke up still in the clothes from the night before.
Oh, honey,
and she had
in
been
the clothes from the night
calling.
before, honey. In the clothes from the night before. Oh, all night.
She had been calling, but now she's putting together some things here at the scene. She sees the type of safe that was used.
And she can't be stopped.
She's Googling.
She can't be stopped, so she's trying to take pictures, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking arrest you if you don't stop your bullshit. And she's like, okay, let me take one more picture. And so he like, acts like he's gonna arrest her and does like a fake out. It's like cute. I feel like now is about the time that I'd like to talk about wardrobe in this movie.
Yeah, the wardrobe in this movie is exceptional for a Hallmark film.
Yeah, I would say it's wardrobe that makes sense and it's good. I feel like every single person in this movie is dressed like their character should dress. And they even color story wise are making sense. Like Maddie is dressed colorfully and bright against this more like it's a more desaturated world that she's in, and she's kind of like the bright colorful spot going through it. The whole thing is kind of shot with like more of an intense kind of filter over it than we see in these other Hallmark movies. Beeks, his out of uniform clothes is like a leather jacket, and like he dresses
he's a detective
like,
now, and so he doesn't have to. He can wear street clothes, and in a lot of your Hallmark movies, the detective in the mystery movies, the detectives often are picture put in a leather jacket for some reason,
ill-fitting plastic.
However,
leather jacket.
This is a good-looking leather jacket. It's got some natural sun tanning kind of going on to it, some distressing. It looks good.
Yeah, it's really good, and the quality of the clothes are nice. They picked good pieces, and they arranged them in a way that made sense in this world, and made sense with these characters. Maddie is like dressed more colorfully, yes, and her style is a little bit more quirky. Like she wears these berets, she does cool layering with like these striped sweaters. It's very colorful. Oh, we even get like a good heel from her a couple times. She has like a quirky kind of style. I think like almost like a pinch of Jess from New Girl. She just kind of like she's dressed like her character. Everybody's dressed like their character. I can only say it so many times. It's just kind of like shocking to me because
it's refreshing. Yeah.
I have an issue in Hallmark movies frequently with costuming, and that it doesn't make sense in the world, or that like things aren't what they're supposed to be like indicating by the script. It's just there's a lack of synchronicity through the story and the clothing. This seems like they actually hired a costumer who said, okay, like let me see the script, let me read about who these characters are supposed to be, let me get into this script fierce.
So, we have Maddie going through and pulling down some leads here. She finds she Googles the safe manufacturer that she saw at the jewelry store, and she goes in person to the safe manufacturer to ask some questions. And while she's in there, of course, who shows up but Detective Beeks. He's on the case too. He's a gumshoe as well. He's
intrepid. He's on top of it.
Yeah. He's chasing down the leads just like she is. He politely but firmly asks her to please fuck off.
Yeah. And so she slips
but before
her phone.
she goes, yeah,
she slips her phone onto a shelf. She says, okay, I'm leaving. She walks out and she hides around the corner for a second. And then when she sees Officer Beeks fly out, she goes in and she says, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot my phone. And she picks up her phone. Her phone picked up an interesting piece of information. You want to tell us what that piece of information was?
The gentleman that she was talking to here at the safe store made a phone call the second that Beeks dipped out of the safe store, and he's talking to the person on the other end and saying like, we got problems, big ass problems. Motherfucking Beeks is on the case. Motherfucking Beeks is gonna fuck us up.
Yeah, Beeks is coming through.
It wasn't.
Guess
quite...
what, bitch? Beeks is on the fucking case, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't quite all that. It was basically.
Yeah, he just said,
we got problems.
We got a problem. We need to talk.
So Beeks shows up at the Tipline office because he wants to listen to the recording of the tip that was called in regarding the jewelry store. And while he's there, she also hits him with the quote illegal recording that she took inside the safe door. And he's a little miffed because it's illegal and it's inadmissible to record people.
There's a little vibe of like, no, it's like breaking rules. And she's like, come on, like don't be lame. She twists his nipples a little bit, and he's like, okay, let me hear it. And he like seems ashamed. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and he's like, well, just because we can't use it in court doesn't mean I can't use it to track down another lead and figure out who he was talking to. All right, now Maddie is chasing down the leads for the kind of B storyline here of the missing cats, the cat burglar, the person who's actually stealing cats, not who is cat burgling jewelry stores, which is kind of a funny coincidence.
Cat
Oh,
burgling
cat
and cat
burgling and
burgling.
cat burgling.
Oh, fierce.
Yeah, so she has this interaction with the man that had called in the tip regarding his neighbor stealing his shit by way of stealing his cat. Um, and he lives alone. It's kind of implied that maybe he's a bit of a loner or kind of recluse type, and so it's just him and his cat.
Yeah, he looks a little
And
bit like Tim Burton.
yeah. I mean, it's he would probably be defined in older terms as a confirmed bachelor, which we all know what that means. And
Yeah, like gay guy who's like actually asexual.
yeah,
Yeah, it's giving asexual, which
yeah,
is fierce. Like do other
yeah,
stuff.
work, yeah, have a life.
Okay, so in her conversation with the presumed asexual, he says, yeah, like, cause she's trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on here. I'm about to go over there and get your cat back. Which neighbor is it? And he's like, over there, that fucking house. And so she walks over there, and she's like, hey, I work for the Detroit Free Press. Could I ask you a couple questions about your cats? And the lady's like, oh, okay. And she lets her in. She's sitting there. She's like,
There's cats everywhere.
there's cats everywhere, and they're probably all people's little friends who just want to go home, indicated by the fact that they're screaming. And she's like, my ex-husband always said I care more about these cats than I cared for him. I can't wait for him to read the article you're writing about me. And Maddie goes, well, I didn't say that I was writing a report about you. And then she like kicks her out. She's like, you tell that fucking Marty to stop telling people that I'm stealing cats. And
Yeah, Marty pops out and he's like, "Bitch, I'm just spitting truth. I'm
Yeah.
spitting facts.
Yeah, and
you
he's like,
you are stealing my cats. I am coming for you."
you steal everybody's cats. They call you Cheryl the purse snatcher.
So I think now is a good time to talk about the fact that this movie, especially so far, has great supporting characters.
Yes, it's a
So
colorful town.
yeah, and just the folks that are introduced to us here, they have personality. The acting is great. They're given interesting things to say. It's funny, it's compelling, or it's witty and interesting. It is very refreshing in this movie, especially based on the last one that we reviewed, to get ancillary characters here who really add a lot to the watching experience, as opposed to just being some weird storytelling mechanism or exposition mechanism to tell instead of show.
Anyone who is given lines to read in this movie they're given a script that allows them to know exactly who their character is. Just very well thought out. It seems so well thought out, and we get people that move the story forward, because in a lot of other ones I feel like we would get somebody who tells us, like a friend or like a assistant, it's like, oh, remember that time you did this cool thing? Yeah, there's our proof for the movie that you're a go-getter. These characters, yes, they're here to show us like, wow, what a great person Maddie is, but
But we're being shown by her actions,
yeah, and
not
it's
just by
in compelling content, and a person who actually has a personality and like a story, and like you they give him enough depth to where you're like, fuck, I want this guy to get his cat back. I like this guy.
yeah, and this bitch next door needs to fucking stop her trifling bullshit.
Yeah, and I bet you she was never married.
All right, so the lead that was gleaned from the safe store was that the former son-in-law to the owner of the establishment was recently quit or fired after a breakup with the owner's daughter. And he's kind of a shady fellow. He's had some run-ins for stealing purses or something of that nature, and so this kind of puts him on Beast's radar. So he goes to investigate the place that he's currently staying. And when he gets there, he runs into Toby, the kid from the beginning, the one that he had the run in and then the arrest with previously. And he
Yeah, Toby's not wearing his beanie right now, and he should be.
yeah, his hair's a little doob.
Oh, it's extremely it's fryer fucked.
Yeah,
It looks like it's a grown out fryer tuck because the way it all comes from the back. But it's not even.
yeah, and so we get a conversation between Beaks and Toby.
And fryer fuck.
The conversation between them. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what's this Nick guy's deal? Oh, he's staying here. This is your girlfriend's house, and then we get the introduction of Toby's girlfriend, Allie, and she's going to college. She's
She owns
helping him.
his house.
Yeah, this is her house. These people are kind of just crashing there. One's the boyfriend, and then Nick is just a friend who he does odd jobs for around the house and helps keep the place up. And so she lets him crash there sometime. And so Beeks goes and checks out the area where Nick has been crashing and finds his uniform from his father-in-law's place.
Yeah, it looks like a leotard with some screen printing on it.
Yeah, it's a shirt, but then he finds another shirt from a competitor. So it looks like
It's a crop top.
So it looks like he's gone to work for another safe installation company. And so this kind of, all puts him on Beaks's radar here as, this guy spends a lot of time around these safes, installing them. Got this shady history of robbery, so maybe he's been out here pulling some trifling.
Yeah, there's potential here.
So Maddie, after her conversation about the cat burglar, she thought, well, maybe this person who's been robbing these stores has committed this crime before. And so she heads back and she investigates, and sure enough, there's another robbery where a tranquilizer dart was used. And so she tears off over to the police station to try to share this information, but they're on the same they're onto the same track that she is, where a previous robbery, the one from the very beginning of the movie that we saw in Ohio, a tranquilizer dart was used, but the man didn't die. Maddie brings her newfound information about the xyloprene to the police station and shares it with Detective Beeks, who is having a meeting with the chief of police. And the chief of police says, "Oh man, this girl's got some knowledge. This girl's got some know-how. Who is this? Where do we find another one of her? There's only one." We kind of get a cool moment of her being kind of deputized as a reserve officer, so that way she can work on the case with Detective Beeks. This serves a dual function. She's obviously good at doing this kind of work. She has good instincts and smarts, but it also serves another purpose of that the police station was catching some heat from the Detroit Free Press for not following up on a lead that was sent into them. Oh, we get the toxicology report back, and looks like our girl Maddie is right. The xyloprene didn't kill the jewelry store owner, but because he had a heart condition going on, it exacerbated that, and that caused him to die. So whoever was in there doing cat burglary at the jewelry store didn't intend to kill the jewelry store owner, but unfortunately, because he had a heart condition, he died. So it turned a robbery into a homicide.
Yeah, it looks like this cat burglar's going to the doghouse.
Thank you, Vivica. See, I love this moment. We get because in so many of the mysteries that Hallmark does, it's kind of this like you have to suspend your disbelief kind of thing because a police chief or a police department is allowing somebody who has no no qualifications or uh, legal ability to help out on these cases
To
be
get into
involved.
crime scenes and start touching shit. And
But this one immediately
they take care of the doubt.
it takes care of that doubt. Maddie is now is viewed as
A
an
reserve
asset.
officer. Yeah.
Well, she's an asset and is treated as such, which
yeah,
is nice.
like, and then this woman goes, okay, this is the chick who brought in the tip, and she is on the same trail that we're on at the same time that we're on it, and she's not even in here. We need to have her helping us, so let's take her seriously. And so it also eliminates that thing of, okay, our lead has to wear down whoever the male lead is, to get him to
take her
allow
seriously.
Yeah, allow her to be involved. And then even then, there's always like this weird thing of like the sheriff, right?
Yeah, of
Like,
having to go. Well, my bosses, they can't know about this.
yeah,
they
and
can't,
that's also kind of
blah,
taken care of in Mystery 101, which is kind of in our mind the gold standard for Hallmark mysteries.
the consulting detective.
The consulting detective.
Yeah,
which,
she's fucking Sherlock in this bitch.
oh yes, we will get there one day.
She says I'm a detective. He's like, no, you're a crossing guard. Put some respect on her name, Beaks.
Make it work, designers.
Okay, like I'm age positive and everything, but the concept of this like 72-year-old woman being a cat burglar and like dodging security cameras and breaking into places and popping off trick darts and all this is a little. I get where Matt. Maybe she paid someone, yeah, but I mean, it's a little. Well, if she paid somebody, then why would it matter that she was in fucking Georgia? You know what I mean?
Isn't that the plot of AJ and the Queen?
So they're having their first official meetup here as a new crime-fighting duo, and we're exploring this concept of this like locked door mystery.
Yeah,
so,
like there's no sign of anything being disturbed. It's a locked place, but there's a dead man inside. It's like that train one.
Yeah, exactly.
The train concept.
Yeah, it's so they're trying to figure out. They've gone through the footage from inside the stores, and there's no one coming in, there's no one going out, ain't nothing happening here, but the guy who owns the place going in, and so
it prompts the question: who and how?
Who and how the fuck they done it?
When Beeks was at the crime scene earlier, he smelled fresh paint. And he felt that is a sign.
He was huffing paint.
Maybe that means something. That's really what he feels is their only clue at this particular moment. So they're kind of going through the list of suspects and saying, yes, this person, no, this person. And it just still seems like everybody's on the board. We haven't gotten any real clarification so far.
Maddie's underappreciated.
Today, Maddie.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Beaks.
Oh my God, Maddie is doing CPR. We have gunshots. Beaks is on the ground. There's blood everywhere, and pause the soundboard. Pause the gunshots. Pause the. It was just a motorcycle backfiring and a packet of ketchup exploding inside of, or hot sauce exploding inside of Beaks's pocket.
But what a moment, because our lead character, Mandy Moore, has saw those gunshots or heard that fucking car backfire, and she jumped on top of Beaks and she saved him. She took him out of the way, and if it had been a gunshot, she would have done her very best to save him, but she like looks down and she sees the fucking hot sauce because she exploded a packet.
She starts doing CPR.
Yeah.
She's going to town.
Yeah, she thinks there's blood everywhere. It's just fucking hot sauce, honey. Honey, hot sauce, honey.
Yeah, and Beaks is like, wow, you know what?
You're pretty hard for that.
Yeah, you're a real one. It's not every day that someone tries to save my life. Like most of the time, I'm the one out here doing the thing, but you pushed me right out of the way, and you were gonna take the bullet from me.
What kind of maraschino cherry hot sauce is this? This is the brightest red hot sauce I've ever seen.
No gunshots. It was just a bad exhaust backfire. Honest mistake.
It's the kind of hot sauce that looks like a fake blood packet. So after the hot sauce incident, Beaks is getting Maddie a cocoa coffee kind of thing,
Right,
and
because even though there
helping
was
her
no
decompress.
gunshot, her brain processed it. It's like that moment of when you get scared that way, your brain isn't going, oh, okay, well, it's fine, everything's fine. It takes a while for that adrenaline to wear off, and she's kind of going through that, like, she's like shocked and like shaky, and like she's got a blanket around her, and she just seems all harrowed.
Yeah, and we get some backstory.
Honey.
And we get some backstory as to why this is affecting Maddie so much. And it turns out when she was a waitress or an employee at a sports bar, and somebody came in and held the place up and held her at gunpoint, and she froze and was freaked out. And the guy who robbed the place took off, and nobody ever caught him until 3 years later. Somebody had called in on the tip line and reported it, and they finally caught and arrested the guy. And that's when she decided that she was going to work at the tip line because she wanted people to feel heard, which she does, and she does amazingly. And she then kind of embarrassingly in her mind tells Beeks that she has this favorite cop that's out there, Officer 219, who's always making the arrests and makes her feel safe and sound. And Beeks kind of just lets it go and doesn't say, oh well, that's me, or try to start taking all this credit and doing all this. He just lets her have her moment. It's very nice. It's a very sweet moment, and it paints such a beautiful picture here of Maddie as well, being this person who was able to get over a traumatic event and then use her newfound power and her newfound release from this trauma to try to help other people. Claps for the queen. Claps for the queen. Oh, is the repairman our robber? The smell of paint and maintenance came into some money. There's always this one twink back there, and his mouth is just so pretty. There's a hole in the wall I want to get to before lunch.
Baby. Is this a crime scene?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the crime scene. Cute coat. She's wearing. Okay, so they have gone back to.
Okay, well let's because we gotta touch on Homeboy.
Do the boat. Touch on the boat.
Okay, so we get Maddie. She's at her concierge job, but of course she's wearing multiple hats, as she often does, while wearing no hats.
A nice slicked back kind of chignon.
Yeah, and so we get a appearance from the maintenance guy, and he mentions that he's come into a little bit of money, and he's going to be leaving and retiring and all this, and it gets our leading lady thinking, well, wait, he's going to go repair this hole over there, but what if there's a hole in the crime scene? What if that's how they're getting in? Because somebody has to get in somehow.
And they smell paint.
Yeah, and there was a smell of paint and construction going on. So she races down to the police station where Beeks is onto the same idea.
They get into the car and they go down to the crime scene, and Maddie wears a really great coat. Like this, honestly, this coat is as sweet as candy.
Give it to me.
It's like a zoomed in houndstooth.
Yes.
It's like a way zoomed in houndstooth. Like if you were to look at a houndstooth print under a magnifying glass,
Huge.
and instead of and it's like a very white in the white spot, but instead of black in the black spot, it's green.
Yeah, this is so poppy.
It's like a very true. It's not lime green. It's not emerald green. It's just a very true Kelly green, very rich.
Yes,
and it's honestly, this is something that is another great choice for this character. I see her wearing this. I see this girl being like, oh, how cute. She's all about making people be seen and making the world a better place. And like, I personally think the best way to make the world a better place is by wearing a really fierce coat like this one. So.
And now they're here at the scene of the crime, and they're digging around and looking for this entrance that they've missed, looking for something that's out of place. And of course, they move a file cabinet away, and boom, big ass hole, glory hole, the gloriest of holes.
A big asshole.
Don't you think it's hurtful that
Yeah, it's probably hurtful, but
never take less than 100. Never kiss on the mouth.
100.
Always wear rubber. Great shoes.
$11.
$111 for a ruby ring. I bet it's not even a ruby. I bet it's a spinel.
oh, he said, I knew you were a fucking cop. Every time I put on the Gilda and walk the streets, I get hassled by you.
Nick Ray.
Well, so after they discover the hole into after they discover the glory hole at the crime scene, they go and figure out what's on the other side of it, and they're shocked that it's a very large man with a ponytail who runs a pawn shop, and they find out that there's a piece of stolen jewelry there that was sold to them by Nick, the guy that they were hunting down at Toby and his girlfriend's house. So it's not looking good for Nick right now. He's looking mighty guilty.
We're getting a quick touch base with the police chief. They're just touching on all that they know, what they don't know. Nick is looking suspicious because of the connection to the stolen ring. He does not have a motorcycle, or a motorcycle at least that is
Registered.
So there's no fact that he has one. And whoever had committed the murder did flee the scene on a motorcycle. It's the only true things that they really know at this point. So they want to find out more, and so they go undercover, and they're headed over to where?
The police chief has pulled up a list of 10 jewelry stores that also have this same safe that's being broken into, this safe installed by Beltram or whatever. And there's a list of 10 of them, so they're sending them, Beeks and Maddie here, out to scope out the scene undercover, because they don't want to spook these jewelry store owners, going in there and saying, hey, guess what? You're probably going to get robbed.
Yeah, like
Watch out.
panic.
You might die, too.
Yeah. Are you on any heart medication?
Everybody, hands in the air! Get them up! Hey! What are you doing?
Everybody stand down. We're not here to rob the store.
Rob it? Of course not. We're cops.
I would say
And this whole undercover mission leads to this moment that is quite funny at the jewelry store. So they go in and they're trying to be discreet, and they're asking about their safe. Maddie's like, what kind of safe you got back there?
Where is your safe? Is it in the back? It's usually in the back. Have you seen this guy? They're both being sketchy as fuck. It's not just her. Beeks is like pulling out a phone with a picture of a dude with a baby and been like, hey, I know this guy who installs safes. You ever seen this guy? Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm calling the police. I'm calling
Yeah.
the cops. And so the police come and they all pull their guns.
Yeah, the police chief kicks down the fucking door and is like, get on the ground, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
And she's like, oh, son of a bitch. It's just these two idiots. Come on, they're not being robbed. Yeah, hilarity ensues.
Yeah, so we just get kind of like a light moment of levity in here.
But the best part is that they're like trying to like play a married couple. He's like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, don't put your fiance down in front of other people.
Is that Nick?
Yeah.
Installing a safe.
Nick is on the scene.
They are at the jewelry store, and the jewelry store happens to be those two people from earlier who Maddie was talking to in the lobby of the hotel. They were staying at the hotel, and the hectic thing that they have going on with the interior decorator that they had to get to, well, it was a jewelry store. And so they were there checking up on all the jewelry stores. They happened to walk in to this one. They recognized each other. After a moment of exchanging greetings, they look to the right, and Nick's ass is right there.
Yeah, he just finished installing a safe
that he's probably going to break into.
Yeah, and so, but we also have an additional layer here. The handyman from the hotel, who was kind of saying that he'd come into some money and all this shit.
He has an I Heart Boat sticker.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a boat yet, but he's trying to get one.
He's trying to get that boat.
So apparently they hired him to do the renovation. Now he's got access too, and we have a bunch of crime scenes where somebody cut holes in the wall, repaired drywall, all this shit. Oh, it could be him. Could be him, not Nick. Or it could be both of them together. Who knows?
I love the smell of maple syrup in the morning.
Oh, and he's going to arrest him right on the spot.
Yeah, they drag Nick out of there.
Yeah, it's very much a moment. You can tell that everybody's a little affected.
You a puzzle guy? Yeah, calms him down.
You can't do that. That's not, honestly, that. You can't do that. Because this young man reminded me of it because he's messing with a Rubik's Cube when they walk in the room. And Beeks is like, what are you doing with that thing? And he's like, oh, it just helps calm me down. Like, it's like his fidget spinner. And he, like, takes it away from him. And, like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, that's going to get you. That is going to get you in trouble.
HR is coming.
I'm going to fucking have you.
You're not allowed to take somebody's sensory assistance device away from them. You just got to deal with it, and that's just the way the world is now. Is if the cop who's assisting you is playing with a fidget spinner and not taking notes and is hitting his vape, you just got to roll with it. So after we get fidget spinner magic show,
After the recusal of the fidget spinner,
we get a little pressing here of Nick and a little
yeah, a little interrogation.
Lightweight, you know.
Yeah,
it's
they're
Hallmark.
they're in a cubicle. They're not in an interrogation.
Yeah, they don't have the lamp on them, and they're connecting dots for him, saying, "Look, dude, this does not look good. You're installing these safes that are being broken into. Your former father-in-law says that you're a shady piece of shit, and you've now been caught selling stolen property to a pawn shop. So what's up?" He's like, "Dude, no, it's not me. My former father-in-law hates me. He's just trying to keep me from getting custody of my kid. And unless you're going to charge me with some shit, I want a lawyer." And so they send his ass packing. They say, "All right, get the fuck out of here. Here's your fidget spinner back. Go slap down some Yu-Gi-Oh cards and, take a breather, and we'll come for you when we have more evidence."
So in comes the reveal that the wife of the murder victim, yes, she was indeed out of town. She was indeed out of town that night, but she was at a conference, a medical conference of what?
Veterinary medicine.
Veterinary medicine. Now, why is veterinary medicine pertinent here forward on the scene, live forward on the scene?
So live here on the scene, Queenie, we have breaking news that the tralazabam or whatever the fuck, this tranquilizer dart bullshit is used in veterinary medicine.
Yeah,
so
it's for the dog.
It is for the dogs.
I think that it's also a good time to give just a PSA to everybody out there to not take animal drugs.
You hear this a lot out there. People are always talking about it
as if it's fun or it's this cool thing to do.
Yeah,
but it's not. Don't be fooled by all of the glamour.
Yeah, don't be fooled. It's they're just trying to get you hooked.
Yeah, they don't just ignore people who talk about how great drugs are and how you have the best time of your life and that you never have more fun dancing or
doing anything.
Don't let anyone ever convince you that going to work or doing the dishes is improved exponentially by being high on literally anything. I think that it's important to lead a sober life because I think that adventure and like great parties and fabulous party clothes and nightclubs with really good lighting. No one wants to be there really. No one on drugs is having fun.
Yeah.
Those people are they're lost in a haze of euphoria and joy and glitter.
But it's all gonna fade when the dawn light comes. When the dawn breaks.
When the dawn breaks and they walk home and they go to their childless apartments with their expendable income and order DoorDash and sleep it off, they'll be hit with the rude awakening that you don't want to take ketamine and Molly because it's the longest night of your life. Ketamine's for horses, right?
It can be for those of an equestrian nature. Xyloprene. I've taken like 8 Xyloprene today.
Yeah, I took a Xyloprene to the pub, had a drink. I took a half of the Xyloprene after that. Waited another hour. Took another half. Xyloprene.
And then I woke up in a fucking jewelry store.
I do not need a reason to be angry with God.
So here at this point, we're kind of getting a little bit of a recap. And we're getting a layout of the players and who could be responsible for this.
Yeah, and what things
we're getting
a
suspect list.
To. Yeah, each thing they're connected to. We have the ex-wife who is a veterinarian, so she has access to the medication.
And ketamine enthusiast.
And thick foundation wearer.
We have Nick, who is a fidget spinner aficionado and magic card playing safe installer with access to codes and the ability to break into these things.
Yeah, he's probably just neurodivergent enough to be a tech genius.
And then we also have the handyman from the hotel, Ron, who owns a cabin in Cleveland where the first robbery was committed. He's also working around, he works around construction so he can cut a hole and patch it and all of these things, and he's currently being employed by one of the one of the jewelry store owners to do a remodel and repair. So we've got a compelling list of suspects here. Honestly, it could be any of them. All of them have motive. Many of them have opportunity. Some of them have fidget spinners. It's anybody's game. So we go back to the Tipline office where Maddie has a conversation with the new intern there, who's a nepo baby. The stepdad wants him to be productive, so he kind of stuffed him in here. And I guess he's really into music, and so he took the call that came into the tip line about the robbery and ran it through some music software and was able to reveal a woman's voice with a crying baby. And who is a woman with a crying baby who's connected to this whole thing? Nick's ex-wife. So, and it's a small detail, but it's very important. So this kid, this intern, is here because his stepdad feels that he's useless and his music stuff is dumb. But he's able to uncover this clue, and Maddie's like, "Wow, that's amazing. This thing that you're doing is very cool." Yet again, which is why she's the queen of lifting people up and making them feel seen and heard. She's making him feel valuable, and like the things that he has interest in are valid and important.
We love
She's
her.
an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so in the interview here with Olivia, Nick's ex, who made the anonymous tip call to Maddie, we have the reveal that Nick has access or knows about her father's motorcycles and who they were sold to, and he was being kind of dodgy about that question back at the station. When Olivia had gone over to Nick's place of residence where he's staying with Toby and Amanda, she had overheard something about plans to rob a jewelry store. Talked to her dad about it, and he had advised her to give a call to the tip line. And we have the added layer that Nick has no access to Xyloprene. He's just a safe installer. But we have the wrinkle that Amanda and Toby work where? They work at a pet store with a pharmacy. Yeah, so that could be where the Xyloprene's coming from.
Yeah.
Oh, and what a refreshing take from a cop in a crime drama. Let's not jump to conclusions about who is guilty until we have more evidence.
I do not need a reason to be angry with God.
He's starting to rely on her as a partner and trust her, and he's upset when she has to go back to the hotel to go to work, and isn't going to be there along with him on this next stop that he's making, which is very nice. It's respectful. They're getting this great rapport.
There's chemistry building, and you can
There's
tell that
chemistry
maybe there's an
building, yeah.
attraction.
Yeah, there might be an attraction, but at baseline, it's a respect.
Yes. So Maddie, on her way out, they're breaking. They're going to separate places. She's not going to sleep. She's not going to take a nap. She's not going to eat food. She's going to call the cat guy. What's his name? Artie?
Yeah,
Artie. She goes to call Artie because she gets an idea of maybe how she can track down his cat. So she calls him real quick and she says, hey, homegirl said that her husband left because of the cats about a year ago. Do you know his name and where he works? And Artie happened to have that information. And so it looks like she's about to head down to school. Meanwhile, we cut over to Beeks in an interrogation room with the widow of our murder victim.
The widow Von Du.
The widow Von Du of our murder victim, and he's just doing the Beak thing. He's beaksing down. Oh wait, hold on, give me a little like.
These beaks of millions are scum, like a beak in the night. I'm gonna buy a beak and then a beaks and beaks.
Oh, he's calling her out about her abuse of prescription drugs.
The homo stuff.
Timba, you're home, little guy. So where was he?
Chanel's mother's house. That Benjamin said she routinely takes care of her mother, so I figured I'd pick that one to visit. And
She was very apologetic. Didn't she shimble that?
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Oh, and I guess I owe you the reward, too. Now, I don't have the $5,000 at this particular moment, but I can make payment.
Free and clear. No reward necessary. Reuniting loved ones is a reward enough.
Maddie, I can't tell you how much this means. I thought no one cared.
People care more than you realize sometimes.
So Maddie is the legend.
She really
She
is
is
so cool.
the legend.
She's an icon.
This
She's a legend, and she is the moment.
this poor man was distraught at the loss of his cat. They're not like going out and saying this guy has mental issues or
No, but he's clearly an eccentric person, or maybe somebody who's just a little bit different. He's still being relegated to a weird spot in society, and he was completely alone. Like, what a horrible feeling to be shouting for help in the world and have no one listen to you. And
until Maddie.
And exactly, like, she really is a hero, and that's what I love about this movie so much, is that it really gives us a true hero to root for. Like, I really like her, and I don't feel like she's nosy. I genuinely feel like she cares. And it's like, if somebody else isn't going to do something, then I'm going to step up and do something.
Well, and his whole thing, he was like, oh, and I suppose you want the reward, and he's more than happy to do that because he got his cat back, and he's fine with that. But then Maddie goes, no, like I'm just trying to reunite loved ones, and that's doing something good is its own reward kind of thing. And he is just floored. He thought for sure this was just, about the money or about this or that, but not at all. It was for her, it was about reuniting loved ones. And she paid him respect of him loving his cat and caring for this animal. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful ending to that, kind of B storyline.
Obviously, we get from that maybe he didn't have the $5,000 really to do this with, but he was so desperate to get his best friend back. Most of us have had like an animal or something in our life that like just we would not be able to go on if something bad happened to them. Like I have a cat. I love him so much. I worry about him every day. If I go anywhere, all I think about is like, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. Like all I ever want to do is just get back home to him. He's so sweet, and I have a loving marriage. I'm not a lonely loser like this guy even is. This cat is literally all this fucker has, and so she brings him back as one friend, and it's just, you see it. It's just like truly so heartwarming, and it keeps this movie that has an unfortunately grim tone due to the murder of that nice man at his jewelry store. It's brought up.
Yeah, it keeps it hopeful. It keeps
it hopeful.
Yeah.
It keeps it on a good note.
Miss Maddie. So we get a confrontation from Beeks and Amanda at the pet store that she works at, and he's kind of coming to her and eventually probably Toby too, to tell them, look, like this isn't looking good for Nick, and you guys work at a pet store that has access to these drugs, so what's good? Which one of you stole it and gave it to them?
And Amanda tells him that he asked both me and Toby to steal it for him, but they both refused. And we get a little like fade to black moment. So that's gonna resolve in a moment here. But as of right now, we flash back over to the concierge desk at the Beverly Wilshire or wherever she works at.
Yeah, at the RK, and we get the new jewelry store owners, the ones who are doing the renovations, who are staying at the hotel.
The wife.
We get the wife. She walks in. She's it's exhausted. Long day doing the remodel and getting things in and set up. And she happens to mention just offhandedly that there was some issues with the safe and that somebody had to come out and redo the code or something, and she doesn't know. And you can see that for Maddie, she's like, oh, this is the MO. This is the thing. This is how they do it.
They say that there's something wrong with the safe, so they can get back in there.
Yeah, and so Maddie goes tearing off to go and try and get Beeks and figure this whole situation out. So Maddie is on it. She's off to go do a stakeout. She doesn't want to raise any alarms or freak anybody out until she's sure. But she's on her way over to the jewelry store to either catch or hopefully stop the robbery before it happens.
Or maybe it's gonna turn dark and she's gonna go in there, shoot them both, and take all the money and run.
Yeah, maybe Maddie is going rogue. Maybe it's been her the entire time. Uh-oh. Up here. So during the cutback to Beaks at the pet store, we get a "I have nothing to hide" from Amanda and Toby, and
Yeah, and this interaction between Amanda and Toby, she's being very pointed at him. Like, she's like, "You're being honest, right, Toby? We have nothing to hide, right, Toby?"
yeah, it's a little odd. But she hands over her keys to her locker.
Yeah, she says
to
you can
Beaks.
search our lockers on account of nothing to hide.
Yeah, and so she takes off because she had to go do something or whatever, something for school, and Toby was going to be taking over her shift. And during the search of the lockers, they open up Amanda's locker.
Oh, just
There's
normal
nothing.
locker, nothing really in there.
There's
just locker.
nothing. And then they open up Toby's locker, and they find what looks like
The
a
gun.
tranquilizer gun chilling in his locker, and Beaks is looking none too pleased, and Toby hits the skirt. He is out.
He is out of
He
there.
is out.
Yes.
He sees the gun and says, "That ain't mine."
Well, and it's so weird too because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's his work locker. It's not in a bag. So like when he gets there, he opens up the duffel bag and he unloads each individual bullet and the gun into his work locker. Is that how he like goes to work, or was he carrying like all the tranks grasped in one hand like markers and then the gun in the other, and he just kind of comes in casually and no one notices this? It's just like a weird way. Like, I feel like there should be a note in there that says, "I am the one who did this, and this is Toby. Totally believe me, Toby. Like I said, I did this."
It's a little convenient that this gun that was used in a robbery that turned to an accidental homicide is just sitting in plain sight in a locker at a workplace and not hidden in any way. But Toby, he's had run-ins with the cops before.
And so he's kind of like
fe-
scarred.
Yeah, and he's not feeling this, and he's like, "Oh shit, this looks bad. So I'm the fuck up out of here," and he dips.
Yeah, no. Toby!
He goes kind of feral too. Like he's like, "No, no, no." And like,
Yeah, he gets
he,
a
like,
little
pushes
J.
Beak.
He gets a little J caddy. He starts like flinging some feces, and then he fucking launches Beaks.
Yeah, he like knocks him into the lockers.
And the lockers like shake and move. It's crazy. It's a good shot.
They do this shot, and it's from behind. It's like it's one of those sets where they have it so you can shoot from inside of the locker, so it's like you're looking out of it, and you see the shot happen within that frame, and it's so intense.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of from the very beginning, you're like, oh man, this poor kid, he's like getting all caught up in the situation, like. Damn, and onto the motorcycle. And onto the motorcycle. And onto the motorcycle.
Which a motorcycle was what was used at the scene of the crime.
Detroit Metro PD, Tran speaking.
Officer Chance, Mandy Moore. I need to speak to Captain Nyland.
I think she's gone for the day. You want her voicemail?
No, wait, my phone's about to die. Same cops that snatched jewels on 28th Street. There's about to be a robbery. Hello? Did you get that?
All right, so we're getting kind of a cut back and forth here. We have two active scenes happening. We have Maddie at the jewelry store on the stakeout. She sees somebody going into the jewelry store, and so she picks up the phone. She's not trying to be a hero. She's, she wants to do the right thing, though, and get the cops there ASAP. So she picks up the phone, calls into the police station, gets Detective Tran, and starts to rattle off her location, but her phone dies, and she is not sure if he heard. And so she's panicking. She doesn't know what to do here at this point, except for she's got to stop this from happening. So we see her get out of the car, and then we get a cut back over to Beaks' scene where he's on foot chasing after Toby. We get a moment here between Beaks and Toby of Beaks going, "Look, you're not making this any better on yourself here at this moment. Like, I understand that you're afraid. Have I ever done you wrong before?" kind of thing.
Trust fall me.
Yeah, trust fall me. And because Beaks has in the past been a man of his word and conducted his job truthfully and honestly. This young man who's been in some trouble and who's in a really bad situation right now is able to trust him and believe that he's not going to get railroaded.
Right, exactly. Like he knows that Beeks really only wants people to live the best life, and there's no joy derived from arresting people, and like he's not doing the thing of you and I talk
Getting
about
the
this.
bad guy.
Yeah, you and I talk about this a lot. We hate this like idea of like, oh, these are good people, and then these are bad people, and
Evil
like
people.
yeah, and then like
People
I'm
born bad.
yeah, and like I'm a cop, so I go out and I catch the bad guys. There's no such thing as a bad guy. Life is fucking hard. People have a really hard time. People fall on hard times. If anyone thinks that it could never happen to them, you're delusional. I appreciate your delusion. You probably sleep really well at night, but you're probably also an insufferable asshole who thinks that you can't do anything wrong. And I think that Beeks is doing what cops should do, which is like you gotta reel people in and ask them to rest their neck for a moment when they're out here wiling out, but you don't torture them or like feel happy at like putting them away, and now you equate
Taking them down
as like a bad person for life because they robbed a jewelry store or they were turning tricks.
They
or
sold drugs. Or
They
whatever.
sold drugs.
Yeah, all of these things, and because Beeks has conducted himself in this way, he's able to kind of talk this kid off the ledge here before things escalate and go to a place where he can't get back from. And so, awesome job, Beeks.
Yeah.
Claps for Beeks.
Yeah,
let's give the queen what she deserves.
Come tell me your side of the story. This isn't worth it, Toby. I didn't rob that store. Then why is there a dart gun in your locker? I don't know. Someone set me up. If it was a setup, then just come out and talk to me about it. No. No, you're just gonna arrest me like last time. Not if you didn't do it, Toby. I'm not interested in putting the wrong person away. Any second now, this place is going to be crawling with cops.
God, Toby's haircut is so unfortunate.
I swear to
Yeah,
God.
it's really bad.
I've never shot a dart in my life. All right. I'm going to the station. Take your statement.
So,
Okay, suspense is building. Suspense is building. Okay, so Maddie, she gets out of the car. She makes her way inside. She finds this like back door thing, and she like slides it open. And she's like kind of creeping through the back alleys of the mall, trying to get to the jewelry store, until she comes across a familiar sight: a square cut out of the wall, where somebody likely crawled through to get to the jewelry store.
yeah, she's crawling through the glory hole, and luckily, Beeks, after peacefully resolving the issue with Toby, gets back in his car and gets the voicemail from her and figures out, oh man, I got to get over to where she's at.
Detective Beeks reported a 211 in progress. The Nash Jewels on Point. I just cleared that 211 Beeks. No one's there. Door's still locked.
You reached Mandy Moore. I'm available right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
No, he's saying, I'm trusting her instinct this time. He's ignoring the cops instead of the other way around. He said, we already went
Yes.
down there. The doors were locked. Nobody's there.
Said they don't go in through the front door.
Yeah, the lights aren't going to be on. There's not going to be a sign on the front that says, do not disturb, robbery in progress. Oh, gosh, she's creeping through this back room, and since everything's under construction, it's like all these creepy, like...
Yeah, it's like serial killer tarps everywhere.
Yeah, dividing everything. The light is like this hideous blue, but it's offset by these like industrial work lights that are hanging
and like
from the ceiling.
and then like half the lights are flickering.
Yeah, and they're all like a bright, like orangey color. So it's casting like this orange hue across this blue, like this like moonlight blue room, and it's just really creating a beautiful contrast.
And our girl stumbles upon the robber emptying out the safe,
And
but
she kind of gasps, but she ducks behind a wall, and she's unsure if somebody heard her or not, until she kind of like peeks around the corner, and the burglar is no longer sitting right there. It seems kind of like, oh fuck, they heard me.
oh damn! So our girl Maddie just gets sacked right through a brand new sheet of drywall, and it's a great shot too, because it's like it's
dynamic.
kind of slowed down just a tiny bit, so you can kind of see the dust like scatter in this cool weird fashion. But you see Maddie get busted through this wall, and you see it from the back side where she comes through it. There's fucking dust going everywhere.
It's
and
the two of them in a scuffle.
Yeah, there's two of them in the scuffle. You don't know what's happening here. Fucking dust everywhere. Boom! Roll that beautiful bean footage.
And who the fuck is this?
Oh.
Who the fuck is this?
Who is this?
Who the fuck is this?
It's fucking Amanda. This gaslighting this bitch. She's out here trying to pin it off on Toby because she has no conscience and she's just like on some bullshit today. She said, I'm putting this gun in your locker. Fuck you. Fuck your future. Fuck all these dogs whose medication I stole. Pop, 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 pop. Drink darts for everybody, motherfuckers. She attacked Maddie through a wall. For what? For what? Her braids do look really cute right now, and like her tactical costume is
Fierce.
Toby, we have nothing to hide, right?
Right? You need to be honest, Toby.
Yeah, just gaslight this asshole. Yeah, but Maddie in this moment right now, she is 2 through 10 because she is not the fucking one. She's not the fucking one, and our man Beaks shows up here on the scene.
Just in the nick of time.
Picks up Maddie,
For the swoop
gets her
down.
dusted off.
It was an accident. I didn't know that Ivory would kill him. It was just a sedative. You don't understand. My grandparents raised me, and now it's just me and my grandmother.
Man, why don't you let her go? We can talk about it.
You want to talk? Okay. Let's talk about the fact that my only chance of graduating and having a decent life was my track scholarship, and now it's gone. How am I supposed to pay for all this with a minimum wage pet store job? I can't. So that's what you did. I just had to stop. Then the bank was going to foreclose on my grandmother's house. I couldn't lose that too.
Man, I want to help you. If you let me.
It's too late. For what it's worth, Nick and Toby had nothing to do with this.
So after the scuffle, Amanda, the punk ass mark bitch that she is, snatches up Maddie and is holding the trank gun to her head and is, going on her little diatribe. I'm doing this because, the bank was going to foreclose on my grandmother's house and,
she lost her scholarship.
She lost her scholarship,
ankle, so she couldn't play sports anymore. It's a sad moment, and we get that whole reminder again that everybody has a story and everybody has things that lead them to where they're at. And she accidentally killed someone, and it's a very somber moment of realization of, yeah, Maddie has to save herself, but this is a person who's kind of lost right now, and she's very desperate.
Yeah, and in that desperation, she's pulling all this bullshit, and like, it's it's definitely unfortunate that like that life is ended up like this for her, and but she's holding the gun on Maddie, and in a quick moment of thinking, Maddie wrestles the trank gun away, breaks the jewelry store case, which sets off the alarm, and Amanda pops off a round, the only tranquilizer dart that she has, and it hits the wall, and then Amanda takes off booking it, and Beaks is all over her, white on rice.
And is able to grab her, he snatches her up, and officially, Officer Mandy Moore was able to place an arrest. She read the rights. I believe in Miranda rights. I also believe in Miranda wrongs, which is why I will excuse the fact that she was kind of flubbing her Miranda rights a little bit. In the middle, she kind of stopped, and Beaks had to be like, girl, finish them. And so she finished them. She was having kind of a surreal moment of like, wow, I'm really an officer now.
Yeah, and I'm reading the rights, the Miranda rights. Miranda has the right to a man who will love her and her baby. It's all there.
Yeah.
So in the wrap up here, they're breaking down the crime board. And
they're taking off all the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm sure they went back to the station to fill out incident reports or
do paperwork and all that. But they're having a conversation, and Maddie, expresses that she feels kind of sorry for Amanda, and Beaks has a moment there where he says, like in this line of work, of course, like there are people who are sociopaths or narcissists or psychopaths and whatever, but he says that most of the people that you interact with are just people who lost their way. And so
I do not need a reason to be angry with God.
and so, this is yet again, it's showing this great consistent character of these are just folks, like I'm not a cop because I'm better than anybody. I'm a cop because I want to help people.
Yeah, this is by far and away the most like intuitive and thoughtful and like introspective piece of mystery media that Hallmark has, at least of what I've seen, has ever put out.
Yeah, it's very wonderfully done, and we get the wrap up there, and then as they're coming outside, they're joking around and having having a little back and forth with each other, Beaks and Maddie.
Yeah, and one of the officers comes out and he's like, "Oh, hey, Maddie, the chief wanted me to give you your uniform, your reserve officer uniform," and that officer then turns and says goodbye to Officer 219. Oh, oops, sorry, detective. But that slip up reveals to Maddie finally that Beaks is Officer 219, the one that she had like idolized and like really respected and loved. And so it's a really wonderful moment that little beat happens right before the end. And because our main character is just so wonderful and she can never stop helping people and things, this little kitten all covered in dirt, you hear it go meow, and it's like a newborn kitten, and it stumbles over to her and she picks it up and she puts it in her coat. And she's like, "All right, I'll see you later." And Beaks says, "Are you really going to keep that cat?" And she's like, "I probably will. Keep Possum Beaks," is what she names him, Possum Beaks. And we fade to black, and it's all very lovely.
Oh, and but we also, so side note, we get the wrap up. Officer Beaks, or Detective Beaks, says, "Oh, and now that we've, solved this murder, I'll look into that missing cat case that you had called in about." And she says, "Oh, no need to. I already solved it." And he's stunned. He's like, "What do you mean
impressed,
you solved
yeah.
it? What do you mean you solved it?" And she's like, "Well, I'm resourceful and I have my ways."
Starts in my toes and I crinkle my.
So now that we have concluded the wrap up here and the review for Tipline Mysteries, Dial 1 for Murder, what would you say your rating is for this program?
Are we for mysteries? Are we doing the same 1 to 5?
1
star
to 5.
Scale? So between 1 and 5, I gotta say this is a 5.
This is a fucking 5.
This is a fucking 5. This is a fucking 5. Honey.
Yeah, this movie is so fucking lit. This is, and we're gonna go into a number of other Hallmark mysteries, through the course of the reviews, and this is definitely one of the tops for me. Of course, there's other ones that I like, just as well or whatever, but this one is one of the tops, if not the top.
Yeah, I have to say that this is an amazing movie. And hey, we have an email address set up. If you guys have any suggestions for movies that you'd like us to review, you can email us at hellahallmarkpod@gmail.com. Just hellahallmarkpod@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next week with another unhinged review.
They're fire.
Oh, the nachos are fire.
The nachos are fire.